Life begins when you stop trying to please everyone. Have you ever noticed how we spend a large part of our lives trying to please other people? Since we are children, we are taught to seek approval from parents, teachers, and friends. We grow up believing that we need to be accepted, that we must always be available, smiling, ready to say yes, even when our heart is screaming no. But do you know the most liberating truth you can discover? Life truly begins when you stop trying to please everyone. And maybe that sounds harsh, maybe even selfish at first. But what I want to show you today is that this choice is not about rejecting the world, it's about finally allowing yourself to live your true essence. Because trying to please everyone is not kindness, it's a prison. And the more you try, the more you lose yourself. The invisible weight of living for others. How many times have you caught yourself saying yes when you really wanted to say no? How many times have you swallowed your own desires just to avoid disappointing someone? Maybe you accepted jobs you didn't want, entered relationships that didn't make sense, or even suffocated your dreams just to avoid failing someone's expectations. That weight is silent, but it comes at a high cost. It exhausts you. It drains your energy, makes you anxious, and places you in a life that doesn't even feel like yours. And the worst part? No one will ever be completely satisfied. You can give everything, and still someone will criticize, someone will expect more. Deep down, living to please others is like running a race that never ends. And in that endless marathon, you slowly fall behind your own life. The first turning point: understanding you can't please everyone. Here is the first major emotional shift. No matter what you do, you will never please everyone. If you stay silent, people will call you weak. If you speak up, they will accuse you of arrogance. If you follow one path, they will say you should have chosen another. So let me ask you, how long will you keep wasting your life trying to meet expectations that never end? How long will you suffocate your authenticity in exchange for recognition that may never come? This is the moment to look in the mirror and ask yourself, whose life am I living? Mine, or the one others chose for me? The moment of courage, saying no without guilt. Have you noticed that the hardest word to say is often the most liberating one? No, saying no is an act of self-love. It's about setting boundaries. It's about respecting your energy, your time, and your peace. And do you know what's interesting? When you start saying no, you realize the world doesn't collapse. On the contrary, it begins to reorganize itself. The people who truly value you understand. And those who were only around out of convenience drift away. Yes, it hurts to lose some people in the process. But it hurts far more to lose yourself. Who would you be if you weren't afraid of disappointing others? Take a moment and imagine. Who would you be today if you had never lived to please others? What choices would you have made? What dreams would you have followed? How many times would you have dared more, risked more, lived more intensely? The fear of disappointing people is like an invisible leash holding you back. But the real question is, how long will you accept living tied to it? How long will you sabotage yourself just to fit into other people's expectations? Life begins when you stop trying to please everyone, because that is the moment you start living your own truth. The price of authenticity. Of course, being authentic has a price. You will make some people uncomfortable. You will disappoint expectations. You will lose some people along the way. But here's the truth. That price is far cheaper than the cost of living an entire life pretending to be someone you're not. Authenticity attracts what is real. It attracts genuine relationships, aligned opportunities, and a sense of peace that no external approval can ever give you. Because deep down, pleasing everyone is an illusion. But choosing to please yourself, that's a revolution. The second turning point. Life becomes lighter. When you stop trying to please everyone, something almost magical happens. Life becomes lighter. You begin making choices not out of fear of disapproval, but out of the joy of expressing who you truly are. You start connecting with people who truly understand you. You walk through life more freely, more openly, more completely. And that's when you realize you didn't lose anything. In fact, you gained everything. You gained time, energy, authenticity. You gained the chance to live a life that truly belongs to you. Final reflection. So let me ask you, do you want to keep living just to fit into other people's world, or are you ready to live your own life? What hurts more? Disappointing some people by being true to yourself, or spending your entire life disappointing yourself just to please others? Remember this: life begins when you stop trying to please everyone. That's the moment when fear gives way to courage, doubt gives way to clarity, and the prison gives way to freedom. Gentle call to action. If this message resonated with you, I want to invite you to make a commitment. Write in the comments, "I choose to live my truth." It's not just a comment. It's a declaration to yourself, a milestone in your journey toward freedom. And if this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Sometimes a simple message is the spark someone has been waiting for to wake up to their own life. And of course, if you want to keep receiving content like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. But do it consciously, as an act of choice, not as an automatic habit. Because every choice you make is another step toward your freedom. Closing. In the end, everything comes down to one decision. Do you want to keep living as a spectator in your own life, or are you ready to take the leading role? Life begins when you stop trying to please everyone. And maybe today is your first step toward truly living.